Okay, hey. So we're going to talk today about proven strategies for networking. This is in direct response to one of my clients who has been invited to a business luncheon, and it's from a school district, and she wants to know how she can make sure that she is using this opportunity to turn it into something more. So again, this is a direct response. This is one of the benefits of having a coach that can give you a timely response. Now, you all get the benefit of hearing the response, but for her, this is a just in time response. So, we're going to talk about it. So, here's the situation. She recently retired from the school district, let them know that she has started her own consulting business. And so, in response, hey, strategy lady, thank you for joining me. I miss y'all already. So she was invited. She let them know she started a business, and she was invited to a business luncheon. Now, of course, the school district is trying to figure out how the community and business partners can support some of the initiatives that they have for the upcoming school year. And so she's been invited to this luncheon. So first I'm going to give you first I'm going to give you the proven networking strategies. I'm going to give those, it's 7 of them. I'm going to share those 7 with you. But then, my unique approach is I'm going to give you the 7 mistakes that teachers make after that. So if you just want the proven networking strategies, that's right now at the beginning. But the true value is going to be after that, because then I'm going to give you the real talk. I'm going to give you the real understanding, because these are mistakes that we often make, but we need to know the strategies and then what happens that keeps us from closing the contracts. Hey, and Educators Live. Hey, Enrich Me Strategies. She said, hello, Dr. D. Glad to see you back live and in action. Yes, I am back. I had a whirlwind. I had 2 birthdays, 2 of my nieces' birthdays, and all types of stuff happening. So I'm trying to get back to my normal life after the live event. But I so enjoyed y'all. Okay, so let's talk about it. So the first thing, again, proven strategies that work. So she's been invited to this school luncheon, and this is for anybody, whatever the event is. It doesn't matter if it's a school, if it's a company, if somebody's inviting you out just to a business luncheon. I go to business luncheons all the time. So first of all, number one, do just a little bit of research on their current initiatives and priorities. Now, I'm not saying, see, I have to be specific with y'all, because y'all are going to spend 2-3 days trying to research and trying to make stuff happen. No, that's not what I'm saying. Go on their website, see what they've highlighted, see what they have on the front page of their website, and see what are their priorities right now. You can always pull up their plan. And this is even if it's a business, go on their website and see what they're highlighting. So don't do a 2-3 day deep dive. Just get a good look at the demographics, get a good look at what they are adding onto the website, get a good look at what their priorities are. And then number 2, this is really important. Number 2, I want you to know the key players. Check out like okay, so if it's a school district, we're going to know who the superintendent is. Like, you're going to go look who the superintendent is. But who are the other key players? Because y'all know that the superintendent ain't the only person who make decisions. So who are those other people, and do you know them when you see them? Because if you don't know them when you see them, how you going to walk up to them and say anything to them? So even in a business luncheon, they normally tell you who's hosting the business luncheon and potential and companies that have been invited. You need to go and just find out really quickly who are those people and what it is they do. Now, one of the things that I do, I go to their website, but I also go to their LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile normally gives me more information about them. And keep in mind, I'm not stalking them. Let me be clear. I'm not stalking them. I am simply checking them out to see, okay, this is what they do. These are some things they enjoy. Okay, just get a feel for it. Move on. Y'all, we're not spending 2-3 days trying to figure out who these people are. Number 3, here's one that has saved me a lot, because I'm an introvert. So as an introvert, it takes a lot for me to walk up to someone and to just introduce myself. I've gotten a lot better over these years as I've been a business owner, but I can directly relate to the people who are coming fresh out the school system because that's how I was. And I had to, this is a skill that we have to learn. This is a learnable skill. I've been able to learn it and master it, but mastery takes application and implementation. And so that's why I come here sharing these things with you. So I want you to know your goal. A lot of times we'll go into these events, we'll go into these conferences, we'll go into these luncheons, and we won't have a goal. Dear, you got to have a goal. My goal is always to connect with 3 new business contacts or 3 new networks who could be potential partners and collaborators, period. I'm not trying to connect with 5. I'm not trying to connect with 10. If I connect with 3 people, I consider that job well done. And when I say connect, I'm not talking about, just passing them my business card. Y'all, that's not a connection. That's not a connection. When you give somebody your business card or you exchange hi, hello cards, that's not a connection. A connection is we had a conversation, we talked about something interested, and I got a feel for who you were. So that's a connection. So I try to make 3 of those. Some people who are more extroverted, you probably won't have a problem doing 5 or even 10. But for me, 3 is really good. So figure out what your goal is. Here's number 4, y'all. Now, I'm on the other end of this now. Okay. I hope y'all understand that. I'm on the other end of this. So when I'm going to business luncheons, people are now trying to meet with me. They're trying to connect with me. And so one of the things that everybody has to work on, and I'm continually working on mine as well, is prepare your introduction, people. People, prepare your introduction. Know who you are and how you help people. Uh, who is that? Dr. Sandra Gillens. Hey, Dr. Gillens. She said the conference was life-changing. This is so far from my wheelhouse. I'm doing this scared. Come on, Dr. Sandra Gillens. We're going to make this happen. She was at the live event. We had an amazing time, and we get started tomorrow in our mastermind. It's going to be a really life-changing opportunity. Okay, so y'all, the strategy lady said my goal was 3. I had already turned 1 into a client. Connecting on purpose is powerful. Yes, 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 absolutely. So congratulations on your 1. Yay. So Dr. Sandra Gillen said, I had a connection with a charter school insider. There you go. So we got to prepare our introduction. That's number 4, y'all. Prepare your introduction. It's simply who you are and how do you help people. Y'all, we don't have to say I'm an educational consultant. I'm the owner of so-and-so company. You don't have to do all of that, people. You don't have to do all that. Simply say who you are. My name is, and I help students get into college quickly. I help students navigate the emotional roller coaster of college life. That's all you need to say. Now they know exactly what box to put you in. But when you go in and you say, oh, my name is Tanya Jean, and I'm the owner of Biscuits and Bullets, and I'm an educational consultant, and I work with, ain't nobody trying to hear that. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Who you are and how do you help people? That's real simple. Who are you and how do you help people? Okay. So then you also need to understand your value proposition. That's number 5. That's the value you bring. That's the value you bring. When I talk to people, I tell them I help educators who have just left the school system get 6-figure contracts, have a 6-figure consulting business to get paid for multiple contracts. That's the value that I'm bringing. I'm showing you how to get into a system that you don't have any connection in. You don't know the people. So come on now. This is number 5. You got to know your value. What is the value? Hey, Care Cozy. Hey. So you got to know your value. What is your value? If you don't know it, how do you expect them to know it? Number 6. Okay, now this is the real one. Now, this number 6 now. Now remember, I'm giving you first the 7 proven strategies. And then after this, I'm going to give you the 7 things that teachers do that keep us from turning these opportunities into contracts. Okay. Because they ain't no good in giving you the strategies if you're going to then turn around and mess it up. I'm just saying. Okay. So, number 6, y'all, engage. What do you mean, Chanel? Engage? Dr. D, what are you talking about? See, you have to show genuine interest. If you go there just laser focused on getting a contract, that's going to smell like desperation. That's going to like, that's not the way to network, people. I think that we had the perfect example at my live event when Sharon Washington of the SW Life, her Instagram handle is the SW Life. I think we had the perfect example. We were at the luncheon and everybody was eating, and somebody asked her a question as she was getting ready to go to the restroom or wherever she was heading, and she started telling them what the answer was. Because that's her area of expertise, marketing. And so she started sharing information, resources, strategy. And before she knew it, she had a gang of people surrounding her. I even had to get up to go see what was going on, like what's happening over here. And when I got over there, I was like, wait a minute, let me listen too. So she was sharing resource and strategy, and that is a part of selling. She didn't do a pitch to you. She didn't tell you what she did. She just told you a solution, which when you got through, you knew she knew what she was talking about, and none of y'all will never forget her. And when you're thinking about what is my marketing plan, what's my marketing strategy, you're gonna think about the SW Life, because she proved to you, she's sharing her information. She wasn't trying to sell you nothing. She wasn't trying to pitch nothing to you. She was just having a conversation that she was genuinely interested in, and she started sharing a strategy that worked to help the person who she was talking to. So when I say show genuine interest, you truly have to show genuine interest. And so when you get to talking to people, it's not in an effort to close a contract. It's not in an effort to gain a new client. That's not what it's about. It's about making a real connection. Who is that? With an open view, 2023 says, yes, Iman Live was all the way live. I was in that session, and you are absolutely right. Yes. So just standing there telling people what you do, and that's not helpful. Nobody cares about that. But like she said, when SW Life, Sharon Washington, when she dropped them bombs, people was like, oh, this lady, the truth right here. This lady right here, she knows what she's doing. So I want you to understand that when you show genuine interest, Sharon showed genuine interest in the person and the problem that they were having. She was having real conversation with people, and her conversations were not about marketing. She was talking about other stuff. So you have to engage and show genuine interest. And then number seven is your follow-up plan, people. Now, I don't think that y'all be understanding. Like, you still need to stand out. So when my goal is always three connections, three true connections. And so I done met you, we done kiki, we done caca, we done laugh, we done joked, we done had a good time, right? And we done exchanged information, and we done said, let's keep in touch. We're gonna have to connect. We're gonna connect later. Girl, I gotta talk to you later about this. Was a good conversation. I'd love to continue this conversation. Or I'll say something like, I need to be in your network, and you need to be in my network. We need to try to figure out how we might be able to partner on some stuff. That's how that happens. When I met Sharon Washington, I was like, girl, you cool. You are cool. We need to figure out how we can network, how we can work together. And that's how you put it out there. But then in 24 to 48 hours, babe, you got to follow up. Not 3 weeks later, not a week later, 24 to 48 hours. You can send thank you notes and emails. Now, in this person's situation, she needs to send a thank you note to stand out a little bit, because again, she's going into a school system. But if you were going to a business luncheon, I would still send some thank you notes. I still believe in the old-fashioned handwritten thank you note, but what the paper or the card that it's gonna be on, it's gonna be standout, baby. It's gonna be standout. It might have an amazing, fabulous picture on the front, but it's gonna be something that's standing out. It's not gonna be just a white card where I wrote in there, it was so great meeting you. No, when you see it, you're gonna know this here girl. Oh, what is this? Oh my goodness, what is this? But again, that's a part of who I am. I have a boutique consulting service. I treat my clients like royalty. So that's a part of my brand. I'm not a run of the mill. So you have to figure out, are you sending a thank you note? Mine are always handwritten, or are you sending an email? And then it's in 24 to 48 hours. And in that, you're going to reference the specific conversation that you all had. You're not just saying, thanks for the meeting. That's not what you're doing. You're referencing a specific conversation. I love talking with you about blah, blah, blah. And I just thank you for sharing your time and wisdom with me. That's it. That's all. You shouldn't be in that thank you note or that thank you email trying to pitch. That's not what we're doing. We're just thanking you. And then your goal is to have long-term engagement and position yourself for future pitches. So after I send that thank you note, a couple of days later, I might send an email or put a call in to see if we can set up a coffee chat. If I'm doing an email or a message on LinkedIn to see if we can set up a coffee chat, I would just say I was thinking about the conversation we had. I'd love to continue it. Would be great if we could set up a quick 15-20 minute coffee chat. Here's a link. Please feel free to schedule it at your convenience, or if you just want to do just a regular phone call, here's my cell phone number. Just that simple. Most times they end up on my books. They end up on my calendar for a coffee chat. It's non-invasive. I'm not trying to pitch to them. And when I get on that coffee chat, I just want to know, I enjoyed this conversation. I wanted to learn more about what it is that you do and how we might be able to support one another or work together. And that opens up the door. Okay. So those are the 7 proven networking strategies. Now, y'all ready for part 2? Y'all ready for part 2? Because I don't think y'all ready for part 2. This when the truth come in. This when y'all get mad at me. When I give you the truth, y'all ready? Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready, are y'all? Okay, so let's talk about it. Here, and let me tell y'all this. I'm going to give y'all 7 things that will ruin that we do. We do these things. I did these things too. So when I say we, I'm truly talking about we. Going in being transactional. Going in being transactional. You just want to give to get. Your goal is to give to get. That is some of the worst ways to ruin you're gonna ruin yourself that way. People gonna remember you. People are going to remember you as that lady who always trying to sell something. They gonna remember you as that lady who that ain't how you want people to remember you. Your business, everybody in trying to talk to everybody in the room. People, they see you. Everybody sees you making your way from person to person to person to person to person. And you know what we hoping for? That you don't come over here to us, because you're not putting any value in anybody. You're so busy trying to connect with everybody in the room so that you can try to get more clients that nobody is like, we don't want to work with you. So that is like, don't do that. And then, like the people who go and they give their business card to everybody. If you gave it to everybody, it wasn't for anybody. Because that means you just giving it to everybody. You just giving it to everybody. I don't even want it. And think about why do you think they leave the business cards on the table? They didn't want it. They didn't want it because they saw you all over the place trying to talk to everybody, trying to get everybody the business card. Now, I will say when you do something a little cuter, like you got to get real cute with it. Like if you, an example of that was when we got the little bags with the little cookie and the business card. You see how they gave us something and the business card was attached. It required us to open it up, sample the cookie, and the business card was in there. And so they gave us something. But when you're just walking around passing out business cards to everybody in the room, yeah, don't nobody really want to do that. And I know y'all don't want to hear that, but that's called being transactional. That's not what we want to do. And then here's some of the worst advice that teachers, I'm talking specifically to educators and those who are educator mindset. Just be yourself. Girl, just go in there and just be yourself. I guarantee you, the person who told you that don't know how to network. They don't know how to network. Now, am I saying go be somebody else? Absolutely not. But if you go be yourself, yourself don't be closing contracts. Yourself don't be getting jobs. Yourself ain't doing the thing that needs to be done. So being you is not it. Do you still need to be authentic? Yes. Be authentic. Yes, that means we're not changing our language. We're not turning into a different person, but we do have to put some of those things that we know we do on the back burner because it's really about business. You do want to be authentic, but in this business setting, you're going there with a goal and a purpose. And with that goal and purpose, you're not going in there doing what you normally do. Like you might normally joan on people. You're not going in there to joan on people. You might normally laugh super loud. You're not going in there to laugh super loud and to crack jokes. If you have a normal sense of humor, if you, let's say you are a person who has a great sense of humor, it's okay to be authentic and to have a good sense of humor, but you're not going in there doing what you do at home, which is making everybody laugh, being the life of the party and all that. That ain't what this is, y'all. Go in there and just be yourself. You gonna see yourself gonna leave without any contacts, without any connections, and without any true relationships because you did not go in there intentional, ready to serve and ready to support and ready to listen. Number 3, here's a big one. This is my list of 7. So I gave you the first list of 7. This is my list of 7 things that I know that needs to happen that other people not going to tell you. Folks, we need to look approachable. Look here. Now, listen here. I know that we were all students and we've been in the school system for a long time. But people, you need to look approachable. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's just how I look. Okay, well, what are we gonna do about that? If people are not talking to you in grocery stores, at the gas station, people are not approaching you, that's because you don't look approachable. You don't look approachable. You don't look like you want to talk to nobody. B, you don't look like you finna talk about anything that's interesting or fun. Or C, you look like you mad and angry at the world. And then some people say, well, I ain't got nothing to smile about. You ain't got to sit there with a smile plastered on your face. But common sense would tell us that if people are not walking up to us, talking to us, because think about all the places that you go to. And some of us don't want to be honest about this. Like let's be honest. Some of us don't want to tell the truth about this. When you are in places, if people are not talking to you when you're in the line at the grocery store, when you're getting gas for your car, when you're walking through Target, when you are at Macy's, nobody is saying anything to you, and that's not a problem for you that people always talk to you. It's a reason why people are not talking to you. Is true. And I can tell you this from my own perspective. In the past, years ago, people never talked to me because I was always in my head. I was always thinking about 15 different things, and I did not look approachable. It looked like I was busy, I was preoccupied, and I didn't want to be bothered. And then when I was telling some people, I was like, people don't talk to me in the store. Like, don't nobody never say nothing to me. I be in the checkout line. I check out the little cash register lady. She just say hello. And they don't hold conversation with me. And I got good people in my life. And they told me that's because you're not approachable. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not approachable? And they was like, yeah, you always got this look on your face. Like, don't talk to me. Like you too busy, you too preoccupied. And I was like, oh my goodness, what is that look? And as they began to share what that look was, I realized that's me thinking. Like that's me always thinking. And so what did I have to do? I had to, y'all know I give it all. I read that book, The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. And it helped me to stop always thinking. We're so busy thinking, trying to take care of problems, trying to work 5 or 6 different angles, take care of the kids, do this while we're trying to shop in the grocery store, that we don't even realize how unapproachable we are. And so I had to learn to live in the moment. I had to learn to live in the moment. When I'm in the grocery store, I'm in the grocery store. I'm not in the grocery store trying to make calls to the sports teams. All this multitasking is killing us. And so that's what I would be doing. I would be in the grocery store trying to set up the ride for the game, trying to figure out what fruit y'all want for the practice, trying to do this, trying to do that. Ain't nobody coming up to you talking to you because you look like you preoccupied and don't want to be bothered. Once I got myself together, read that book, realized that I can make all that stop. You can turn your brain off. Your brain should not control you. You should be controlling your brain. I can turn my brain off. When I'm in the store, I'm in the moment. I'm looking at the stuff in the store. I'm looking at the people. And people speak to me all the time, talk to me all the time. I'm walking down the aisle. I might be picking something up. They'll come up to me and say, have you ever tried that before? Is that any good? We have a whole conversation. This is how you meet people. This is how you network. And then I noticed the shift when I was at networking events. People would just come up and talk to me. Y'all, I'm an introvert. I need people to come up and talk to me because I'm likely not going to go over and talk to them. So that worked out really well. Once I got myself together, got in the moment, and became present. A lot of us are not present. We're there, but we're not present. So I became present. People start coming up to me. And then there's some other little tricks I'm going to tell you about too, but give me a minute. So you got to look approachable. And another part of looking approachable also has to do with the clothes that you wear. Like, people want to work with free people. I can instantly look at people and tell if they're free or not, if you're trapped in bondage or if you're free, because free people recognize other free people. And so we give ourselves this uniform that we have to wear, this particular look that we have to have. How are you going to stand out? How are people going to notice you if you just got on the navy blue slacks and the navy blue blazer? Because you think that a blazer represents business. That's a belief that you hold. That's not true. You think that you have to wear your hair a certain way in order to do business. That's not true. And stop letting them tell you that it is. When you look approachable, you are welcoming people in, even by the way you stand. When we stand there like this, that means I don't want to be bothered. But when you are open and free, and it's okay to use your hands to talk, it's okay. But even in the clothes that you wear your bright colors. If you want to wear something trendy, wear your trendy stuff. I wear a lot of maxi dresses, a lot of sundresses. I wear something that's going to stand out. I might do polka dots. So you're going to remember the lady with the polka dot dress on. You're going to remember the lady with the 3-color little suit on. You're going to remember what I had on because I want to look approachable. So if nothing else, they're going to come up to me to say, that's a beautiful color on you. They're going to come up to me and say, oh, I love the way you matched that necklace with that belt. They're going to come up to me and say something, baby, use what you got. Use what you got and stop worrying about what other people gonna think. You don't have to prescribe to this understanding of what business looks like because you're creating your own table. You have to do that when you're trying to go to somebody else's table. You're creating your own table. You can do what you want to do. Let me keep going. Next thing, I want you to understand your surroundings. So now I done gave y'all the 7 proven. They work. Baby, you do them. You gonna close, you gonna build some relationships that's gonna lead to the contracts, okay? But you need to understand your surroundings. Now, I'm gonna have this conversation specifically for the women, and I want y'all to hear me, and I want y'all to hear me clear, okay? And I'm not gonna mince my words about this. And I don't know. You can call me what you want to call me and say what you want to say, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, okay? First of all, people work with people that they like. First of all, people work with people they like. But let me give you second of all. Understand your surroundings. A lot of these business luncheons and business meetings that we're going to, and these networking events, all depending on the industry, and really don't even depend on the industry, there are majority men. Not only are there majority men, some of them are majority Black men, some of them are majority white men, some of them are mixed Black and white. But what you won't find a lot of is going to an event a business luncheon, unless it's sponsored by a woman, you're going to have mostly men there. Yep, you heard me. You're going to have mostly men there. And so understanding your surroundings, you're going to be there with, if it's an event, it might have 50, 60 people. I don't know why y'all be thinking that these events be having 100 and 200 and 300 people. They don't. That's a live event. That's a conference by a big name person. But for these types of events, you get 20, 25 people, you've done a good job. You've done a good job. You get 50 people, baby, that's amazing. Now, with the event that this my client was telling me about, she'll probably have about 50 or 60 people in the room, which will be an amazing turnout. And it really depends on the size of the district. Let me take that back, because I'm not sure the size of her district. If it's a big district, they may end up with 100 or more in the room. If it's one of those huge districts and people are coming to try to figure out how they might be able to support, and also how to support the school system. So let me say that. But this is what I want you to understand. Most of the people in that room, many of them are going to be men. You're going to see the women in there because of social causes. Now, this for my client right now, this piece right here for my client. Because she's going to a school system event, you will see probably about half and half, men and women, because women tend to go to social events for the social good of the community. That's a school system. The men are coming there to figure out how I can work with these folks and how can I create business with these people. The women are going there truly to figure out, how can I support this initiative? What is it that we can do to build the community? You see these two different angles that they're coming in at? Because women love to do social service work. And that's why that's one of the least paid occupations, social services. Think about what social workers make. Think about what anybody who works in social services is low pay. Think about teachers, low pay, because it's filled with women. But the men are coming with a totally different goal. Now, let me tell you one of the things, and we're talking about understanding your surroundings. Now, this is my number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my number 4 point, understanding your surroundings. So women tend to go or be drawn to other women. I want you to be drawn to those men. I'm not saying don't talk to the women. That's not what I'm saying. But I want you to make a concentrated effort to talk to some of those men and to see how y'all might be able to do business together. When I say understand your surroundings, it don't matter how many degrees you got. Don't nobody want to hear about that. Don't nobody want to hear about how many kids you got. Don't nobody want to hear about how many years you've been married. That is not the topic of discussion. You need to be talking about who you are and how you help people. You need to be engaged and listening to what it is that they do, giving a couple of compliments. I love that. That is so amazing. That's awesome that you support people in that way. Oh my goodness. Can you tell me more about that? Y'all better write these lines down. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. Oh my goodness. Can you tell me more about that? Get them talking. Men love to talk. Am I lying, y'all? Am I lying? Am I lying? Men love to talk. Let me hurry up because I got a call at 10:30. Men love to talk. So get them talking. Can you tell me more about that? That sounds so awesome. What's a tip that you can give on that? Get them talking. So understand your surroundings. Don't go in there like this ain't the time for you to try to make the point. I'm going on. Number 5. We go in too focused on the big fish. Now, this right here, y'all, the superintendent, the vice president, the president ain't the only one in the room who make decisions. You got to be willing to know who the other people are, because they likely have more influence than the superintendent, than the president of the company. You need to know those surrounding people. But if you don't know them when you see them, how you going to go up and talk to them? There is nothing like walking up to a person saying, oh my goodness, I'm so happy I get to meet you. My name is blah, 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 and I help with blah, blah, blah. And I love that piece they did on you in the newspaper on so and so and so and so. I read that and I said, this a good guy right here. Do you know that that's going to stop them in their tracks, and they're going to be like, oh, let me, who don't like a good compliment? Who don't like a good compliment? Y'all better stop playing with me. So don't focus on the big fish. The big fish is the person at the top. You want to know who they are, and if you can get a minute at a time in, awesome. But guess what? That person going to be done talk to all of the people in the room, because everybody want to get to them. One of my strategies that I use, I talk to the other people. I'll speak to the person, but my goal is with the other people, and I figure out who they are, what it is they do, and I've already done a quick search on them. I probably already sent them a connection on LinkedIn, and I'll say on LinkedIn, hey, just wanted to reach out and connect. I'll be at the Business Luncheon next week. Would love to get to chat with you. After I come back, if I didn't send anything before, I'll say, met you at the Business Luncheon yesterday. Would love to connect with you, so they can give me a connection on LinkedIn. Okay. So don't just focus so much on the big fish. The number six, y'all, you go in there and you acting like a teacher. What do teachers want to do? Teachers always want to help. You get to trying to clean up. You get to wiping the table off. You get to acting like a teacher. You talking like a teacher. You're talking about the kids at school and all that. That is not what you're there for. They know what them kids at school do. It's the district who's offering the luncheon. You're not there to talk about the kids. That's not what you're there to talk about. We don't need you to talk about how you did 25 years in the school system. We understand that. We need to talk about how what you're doing now is going to support what they're doing. And you need to be figuring out how those people in the room, how y'all can partner together. And to be quite honest with you, that school system who's throwing that luncheon, they looking for free work. Let me just be honest. They looking for some free services, some free mentorship, some free job opportunities, some free partnerships that they can put their students in. And that's fine and dandy. But we're going to capitalize on this opportunity and get with those businesses that are in the room, and also be able to pitch our services to that school district later, to that company that you're at later, whatever the business that hosted the event later. You're not going to be pitching today. So don't go in there acting like a teacher. Don't go in there scared to talk, because that's the superintendent. That's the director of curriculum and instruction. That's the person who does this. That's the person who, we ain't worried about all that. We're not. We don't care how many times that man done stood before you, or how many times you done saw him on stage. That ain't got nothing to do with anything. Okay. So don't go in acting like a teacher. And then the last thing that oftentimes will get us not where we want to be is going in there trying to prove something. You going in there trying to prove something. That's not what we're doing. We're not going in there trying to prove anything. You already know who you are. You know what you do. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You don't have to try to put yourself on a pedestal or make yourself feel better than anybody else. And that's typically when we come with that. I've been married for X number of years. I got X kids. My son goes to Harvard University. Those are things that we say to make ourselves feel like we belong, that we have something that is big as well. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, because if you focus on creating a genuine connection, if you focus on making a genuine connection, entering into a conversation, hearing something that's interesting, and quite frankly, allow your curiosity to take over. Allow your curiosity to lead. You want to know more. You want to learn more. Can you tell me more? If you go in with a curious spirit and a spirit of support, you will see that this will work out just fine. But you cannot go in trying to prove stuff to people, trying to make sure. Don't go in there. Oh my goodness, don't go in there. My name is Dr. So-and-so. No, your name is Chanel. You're Chanel. Yep, that's it. You ain't got to announce that you're Dr. So-and-so, because again, that's putting a wedge between who you are and who they are. And in this moment, we are peers, we are colleagues, we are potential partners, we are collaborators. They can learn about all of your credentials later. We don't have to go in trying to prove anything. The fact that you're there says that you have already proven that you belong there, which is why you received the invite. And so it doesn't matter if there's a company there with 100 employees. You can talk about your business. Yeah, we support blah, blah, blah. And we have helped X number of kids get into college and they got full ride scholarships. We do amazing work, period, point blank. But you don't have to prove anything to anybody. We don't have to go down the list of all of those things that we do, whether we know it or not. That is, when we get in a situation where we feel like there's a bit of inferiority or like the other person has done more than us, you've done exactly what you need to do. You've done exactly what you need to do. So those are my 7 things. Don't be transactional. Go in, be authentic, but realize the adjustments you need to make. Look approachable, understand your surroundings. Don't focus too much on the big fish. The big fish, y'all already know. Don't go in there acting like a teacher, and don't go in there trying to prove stuff to people. The last thing that I will tell you is when we go into these networking events, it typically does not turn into a contract the next day. This is a long game, and sometimes it's shorter. But if you go in thinking, oh, I'm going to close a contract today, you're probably going to be let down. Your goal needs to be, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to make some high quality connections and generate some high quality leads. And then it's your job to turn those leads into contracts. So the contract doesn't just come from going to the meeting, from going to the luncheon, from going to the conference, from going to the event. You have to nurture that lead to turn it into a client. And so you got to have a process for nurturing. All right. So anybody who, I hope this was helpful. As you all know, we got a mastermind. Hey, that's starting this month. Baby, when I say these folks finna go from where they at now to closing contracts in a very short amount of time. Book a call. Let's get on the call. Stop playing yourself short. We have a mastermind for those who are just starting out, and we have a mastermind for those who have all their stuff together. They mostly have already been in the first mastermind. They are now going into part 2, where we are just focused on only closing education and federal contracts in part 2. First mastermind is you haven't closed a lot of contracts. We need to get you closing some big ticket contracts. I'm not talking about $2,000 and $3,000 contracts. I'm talking about we need to get you closing some $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 contracts. And then once you've done that, you're stable, you know the process. But now after that, we need to take you over to the next level, which is getting you where you can close multiple contracts and turn your business into an education business and not be a consultant. As a consultant, that's what you're doing in Mastermind 1. In Mastermind 2, you're turning that, you're going from a consultant to an education business owner. And so you're going to make way more money. You're going to close way more contracts, and you're going to understand way more opportunities that are available to you. And we're going to do a lot of the work inside the mastermind. And we're also going to work with one another and collaborate and do partnerships where we're closing contracts together, and myself included. So I'm going after some contracts, and I'm counting on some of the people in the mastermind to be on some of my contracts as well. So let's get the call set up. With an open view says, I am ready. An educator's life said, you helped me to realize my strengths and weaknesses from the point you gave us today. There we go. That's the goal. People, I'm telling you, it's so much easier, just like I did this live for one of my clients. She's going to watch this, and she's going to know exactly what it is she needs to do just in time. Her event is on Friday. She got a step-by-step plan that she can follow. She knows how to go through with this. For other people, you might not go to your business event for 2 months. You're not going to remember all of this. And who says it's going to be available on here, or who going to be able to find it? Because by that time, I'll be done 100 more lives. You need mentorship. You need a coach. And it's just a way to collapse time. Y'all taking so long trying to do something that you could have been done and be living in it. We don't have to keep struggling. We got to stop being so willing to take the long route. Y'all, we ain't got to take the long route. It's people who are already doing the stuff you do. It's people who can close contracts with their eyes closed. I showed y'all at the event, I done closed 1.7 million in contracts over the past 6 years. What are we talking about? You think I don't know how to close contracts? Each contract is different. Each contract has a different component, has a different something, and you need somebody to be able to say, "Oh, do this approach." You need strategy to close these contracts. Listen here. You think that you can just fill out a proposal like a research paper? That's why it's going to get ignored. If you don't have any strategy and strategy that works, people be using strategies that don't work. Like, why you keep doing that? And then when they come to you and they say, I've been trying to get a contract for 5 months. What did you try? Then when they say what they try, it's like, well, that don't work. We've been knew that didn't work. You need to try this. And then they go do it. Then they get the contract. And then the thing is, they will think, well, I can just do this over and over and over again. Certain strategies only work with certain things. I don't know how else to explain this to people. But what I do know is that I don't want to work with people who are not willing to invest in them, in their business and in themselves. I don't want to work with people who don't want to invest in their business and in themselves. Your business can only grow as much as you do. And if you think that you're going to get all the answers off YouTube and off Facebook Lives and off Google, you got to be out of your mind. Just plain and simple. You got to be out of your mind. If that were the case, everybody would be successful. Everybody would be making 6 and 7 figures and nobody would be struggling. It's not the truth. It's a lot of complex strategy that's behind all these simple tips they give you online. Just like if I had just came on here and gave you the first 7, you wouldn't have been able to do it the same without the next 7. And some people think, oh, I'm good. I got the first 7. Yeah, you got the first 7, but you don't know how you're going to mess up that first 7. So that's why I have to give you the next 7. But some people so impatient, they can't even stay to listen to the next 7 because they only got 20 minutes, but you got all the time for Tyler Perry's Divorce in Black. You got all the time for the housewives. You got all the time for the other things, but you don't have it for the thing that's going to get you to your next level. I ain't fussing. I'm just saying, I want us all to be great. I know that we can all be great, but we're going to have to give up some of our habits that we have that's keeping us stuck. That's all I got. I ain't got no more. I'm going to talk to y'all later because I got a call coming up. Y'all have a